Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you again for joining me for another episode. So today it's going to be a relatively short video, and this is one of those videos that I've been wanting to talk about for the simple fact that we are going to be looking at some additional Hasbro style related figures. Now, I don't have a lot. In fact, right now I only know of one series. I don't know if this respective series has had or plans on making any new figures. When you do go onto the Asylum website, these are some of the figures that you will see. I wish I knew about these beforehand because in package they look phenomenal. Talking to my buddy Rob, he mentioned that I guess other people have received these figures in, and when they've done their reviews, the figures fall apart in their hands or whatnot. So right now, as you guys know, I'm an on-card collector. These are staying in package forever. Now, if I happen to find some loose in the future, that's a different story. But I don't want to risk damaging these figures. Like I said, carded, they're amazing. And because I only have 4 figures to look at, I don't even have the complete set. So it's going to be a short video. So in order to make this video a little bit longer, I am going to kind of show off a few new pickup items as well. Not a ton. The last couple of days, so it's today, Friday the 29th. So last couple of days, got a ton of boxes in. A lot yesterday on Thursday, and then today, just an absolute tonnage. And most of those are going to be the new collection I've started, and that will probably be the next video. On Saturday, I should have the last batch of figures, hopefully. If not, then at least by Monday I should have the last batch, and we'll be able to get that video put up for you guys. So, let's see, which figure do I want to start with? Alright, this is a solid one. Alright, so, we all know WWF Hasbro. Very well possibly the most coveted toy line in wrestling manufacturing history. Everything from the size of the figures, which made them playable for small kids, likeness to the character, a unique working function, like punching motions and clothesline, stuff like that. And you've had a couple toy lines try to emulate that, but none of them do it justice the way that the Hasbros did. And the line was so beloved that over the last, 7 or 8 years, you've seen a massive amount of toy companies coming out with these Hasbro-related figures. Yeah, they're designed for kids, but let's be honest. Those folks who grew up in the era of Hasbro, playing with these figures as kids, were the ones who enjoy them as adult collectors. They're not so much gravitate towards the children, not really. So when Mattel Retros came out, obviously they were the closest to emulate the Hasbros. They are called Retro for a reason, and they were intended to look and play the same way as the Hasbros, with working action features. Since then, you've had a ton of companies that have produced probably even superior action figures, but they don't have that working action feature. So companies like Cella Toys, or rebranded as Epic Toys, obviously one of the best toy lines, I think, for these Hasbro style figures. And then you've got Zombie Sailors, Heels and Faces. Some absolutely amazing figures. Hastel Toys, Grapplers and Gimmicks have really good figures, but they kind of look like clay a little bit. So that kind of offsets the figures, but definitely a top-notch toy line I highly recommend. And another set of collections that I always talk about was Rush Collectibles. And what is Rush Collectibles? Well, today we're going to be able to look at a few of those figures. I really am hoping that they make some more, but from what Rob tells me is that they're pretty much done with this line. I'm missing one character, which sucks, but I still feel like I've got enough figures here to at least kind of give you guys a fun video. So, Rush Collectibles Ringmasters. First character we're going to look at is, as they call him on the card, the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. Now, what's kind of frustrating with figures like Cella Toys, even, the Ringmaster figures, they kind of re-release the exact same figures so many times. And I do have a couple of these figures, so we're going to see a couple different variants. But I think there's also a third variant of Larry Zbyszko. So right now, we've got Larry Zbyszko in multicolored red and white trunks. And a very good looking figure. I'm not going to do a lot of history about the wrestlers or anything like that, or talk about the Asylum store. We're just basically going to kind of look at the figures. This is why I really enjoy having loose figures to go with the carded figures. Because you guys know, I'm not going to tear open my packages. And at least having the loose figures, it kind of gives you an up-close and personal look at it. And see how the figure really operates. In due time, I'm sure I'll pick up additional pieces. That way I'll have something loose for you guys to see. The back of the card, I absolutely love this. I mean, the design-wise, it's absolutely remarkable. And I love the fact that down here, they actually give you the number 1, 2, 3, 4. And so you know exactly who to be looking for in the series. Furthermore, another reason I love this, up here in the corner, Series 1. Somebody's been watching my videos, and God, I thank them for that. You have no idea how frustrating it is when you're looking at like different series, especially when you don't collect the figures from like childhood or didn't even know about a lot of things from childhood. So when you collect these things later on in life as an adult, and you see all these different lines, but nobody's ever putting the series on there, so you have no idea what goes to what. You got to go to like, you know, retrofigure.com or the different collection sites to kind of look at the different lines and different series for lines, and it's annoying. The fact that they put Series 1 on here, and not just Series 1, but Series 1 / Figure 1. Or Figure 1, Series 1, whatever. So that's awesome. They do give you some kind of data back here. So, let's see. Let's look at his stats. 5'11", 233 pounds. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 2-time heavyweight champion. And born December 5th, 1951. I doubt Larry Zbyszko is still around today. I mean, he could be. I mean, he'd be like, what, in his 70s? So, 72? Right now? Yeah, he could be. Again, I don't know the life of Larry Zbyszko, so, you know how wrestlers have a tendency of dying young. You know, when they hit, like, age 40, 42, 46, you hear of them dying of heart attack, and it's like a lot of folks could be, like, really good physical condition and stuff, so you hear that, it sucks. Being a wrestler, I'm sure, means the world to a lot of, you know, kids who grow up and then become superstars in, you know, events like WWF as an example, WWE. But the lifespan of a wrestler, you know, you got guys like Kamala who lived to be like 70, and Iron Sheik I think was like 81 or something when he passed recently. So you do have the occasional guys who do live long lives, you know, live their lives to the fullest. But I mean, unless you're like 75 or up, you know, the average human lifespan, I don't consider it to be a full life. So, like I said, a lot of these figures, you know, you think of like Joey Knight from the Cella Toys line. Joey Knight has like 12 different variants, 8 variants, 9 variants, somewhere around there. So absolute tonnage. And they do the same thing here in Ringmasters. They re-released the exact same figures with different variations. Now, I actually really like the all-black look. I think it looks solid. But, of course, I'm going to gravitate towards the dual color. And, of course, the red and white, it pops more, so that helps the figure. And I kind of see what Rob is talking about. Because when you actually look at these arms, I mean, it's still in the package, but it kind of looks like the arm is about to fall off. Bubble is beautiful, holding firm to the card. The card is crisp. I'm hoping that these figures fit inside the Ringside Collectibles, Hasbro slash Mattel Retros protective cases, because I definitely want to save these as much as I possibly can. And, you know, same thing, Figure 1 / Series 1. Everything else on the back is still identical. So as I said, Larry Zbyszko, three variants. I've got the two of them. The other variant is where he's in all red. That is the Zbyszko, who is number 2. I could have sworn I had a silver version of this figure. So I am going to pause the video here because I think I might be missing a figure, and I want to find that for this video. Alright, so I was right. I did have a variant, and I'm glad I checked because I would have missed out on it. So this one, you know how much I love the bulky figures, and you know, King Kong Bundy from LJN means the world to me, even with a crappy pose, because he's a big bulky figure. I love that. Yokozuna from Hasbro, probably my all-time favorite figure, not just from Hasbro, but from any toy line period. I love the overall look, the function, just, you know, character, name recognition, incredible. Big Daddy or Giant Haystacks from Cella Toys, you know, is an amazing figure, right? Mabel from Grapplers and Gimmicks. This figure, you know, I don't think he's that type of size, you know, 450 plus pounds, 500 pounds like Yokozuna, etc. But the figure looks really bulky and it looks incredible. And design-wise, I think this could be one of the best looking figures you've come across. And we are looking at Jonah. Now, I did look up this guy at one point, and I did take down his last name, but for the life of me, I can't remember. Like I said, outside of Larry Zbyszko, I have no idea who any of these other characters are. And, but like I said, Jonah is one of the best looking action figures I've seen. Awesome design, great bulk to the figure. Looks like his pose is really solid. Just kind of looking at the stats on the back, he is 6 feet tall, 330 pounds, from Adelaide, Australia. Debuted in 07, heavyweight champion, born August 25th, 1988. So, he's a youngin'. So, August, yeah, he's about a month younger than my younger brother, so still youngin' to me. Series 2, or Figure 2, Series 1. Again, I love the way that they number on the back, as well as putting that same information on the top of the card. Back of the card, same exact look as what you would get from any of the other cards. They don't really change that up outside of the profile. But just up close and personal, just look at the graphics. That is amazing. This is a beautiful looking figure, and I'm not sure what they would. I mean, I wasn't aware of these figures when they were selling on Asylum, so they could have been selling for like $30 or $40. But you go on like Mercari or eBay nowadays, probably the lowest you're gonna pay for these are like $60, and that sucks because, I mean, yeah, they're good looking figures, but I hate when people like drastically increase the prices. When I buy something and if I need to resell it, or I'm not looking at, you know, trying to rip people off blindly, you know. I'm not buying something for $50 and selling it for $200. And knowing that people are going to pay it because those collectibles are no longer available. But, I mean, if you're buying something for $50 and you're selling it for like $70, I can understand because, you know, once you incorporate seller's fees and all that, yeah, it's going to rip into your funds. But I don't think these would have ever sold for no $40 on Asylum. I'm thinking like maybe in the $25 range. So $25 is selling them for like $75 to $150. Why? And if it's true and they do fall apart and they're not quality made figures, that just makes it even worse. So if this ever falls off your wall and the bubble separates from the card, you basically got a worthless figure at that point. But I'm still going to appreciate what it is as a carded figure. And like I said, I love these figures. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. And, because I'm MOC, I collect MOC, it doesn't matter to me what they appear like on the inside or how they play. Alright. What else do we have? We have option 2. Like, I really love the dark colors from the figures, like Larry Zbyszko and Jonah. But it's really hard to pass on the multicolor, digital colors that pop, right? So, even though I love the color, like, if I'm looking for colors to wear personally, yeah, this is the color scheme all day, right? But, though, you want something that's really going to stand out to you, and the red and black, as opposed to the gray and black, it's going to stand out a whole lot more. Once again, carded figures, the back card is always going to be relatively the same. So, that is a phenomenal look. Does anything really change? I think it's 100% identical. Skull and bones with like the little death face on the bottom. So yeah, I mean it's 100% the same, with just a different color scheme going, but all the graphics and stuff, are reminiscent of each other. So that is number 2. Number 3 is somebody called Roadblock. Looking at the figure, I mean, this looks like a Scott Steiner or a Crush fighting pose, and maybe the arm isn't extended out as much, but it would look like it would operate the same way. But this is Roadblock. Now, Roadblock has at least 2, maybe even 3 other variants, or 3 variants. So there's one where he's like in some like white and orange striped shirt, I believe. And I've seen that. I think I've made an offer on it, but there was never any response. So yeah, because these figures are not the most craziest expensive figures ever, you're not paying $200 for these. So will I go for the variants? Probably. When I've talked about like the Joey Knight from Cello Toys, yeah, I would love to have all the variants. That's awesome to keep the collection nice and strong. But at $125+ per figure, per variant, I'm like, no. If you get these for like half that price, $60, let's say, 55, 50 even, it's a little bit easier as well to get 2 or 3 of these figures for the price of, one of those. Like I said, I only have 1 variant so far, but I'm going to try and pick up the others at some other time. So it says Roadblock. Man, this guy's a giant. 6'10", 375 pounds. Oof. That guy's enormous. Born in 1960. Yep, he's an old school guy. From Rochester, New York. Debuted in 87, retired in 2012. 25-year career, not bad at all. So we will look at Roadblock a little bit up close once again. Kind of see the different graphics, and you see what I mean with the arm. Where is a good example here? So Scott Steiner, Crush, Mr. Perfect, they all basically have the same exact body. So when you compare the two, it's very, very close, I think. You try and make it easier based on yeah, they're comparable figures. And again, height wise, perfect height to the Hasbros. So you're keeping strong with being able to utilize different toy lines and I said it from childhood, I didn't care about wrestling Galoob with Galoob or Hasbro with Hasbro. I wrestled everything that I had. And if I were still 8 years old today, you think that I would care that these were different toy lines? No. It would have actually no impact whatsoever. A lot of these figures, like, I kind of feel like Mo and Mabel from Grapplers and Gimmicks, I would constantly use them as not only tag team champions on a consistent basis, but even both of them would have individual runs of heavyweight champions. You know, either if you like the Hasbro, or if you like the Zombie Sailor Andre the Giant, either way. You know, I figure like an Andre or a Dino Bravo would easily be heavyweight champions if I was, wrestling them, etc. So I kind of feel like I would always use guys that you wouldn't think of in real life as being heavyweight champions. So, like, I would use, like, SD Jones, right? Or from LJN. Or I would use, like, Hillbilly Jim or something. And you would probably, if I were to create my own little wrestling federation right now and do some of those, like, playtime wrestling type videos, you would probably never see Hogan as a heavyweight champion. I don't know. Because I kind of feel like Hogan is not someone I ever want to see lose a match, it would really be hard for me to ever really use the figure. And being the best playable figure ever, or at least one of them, that'd be tough. So that is 3 figures out of 4. The last one, I don't know. The guy that looks like Mr. Manhattan. Like I said, I looked it up. I knew who this guy was at some point, but I forgot the name. Definitely not someone I grew up watching, so I can't remember. Ringmasters. That's it for now. I tried going back onto the Asylum website and see if potentially any more were available, and they're sold out. Here's the thing. When you look at Asylum, and recently we just got an email in, they shipped out the first batch of figures, but I guess they have another batch of figures that are coming from overseas, and the ship is held up in customs in China, and then they're going to be held up in the U.S. in customs. So, we were supposed to get them in December, and it's probably going to be another few months before we're able to receive those figures. And this happens all the time. This is why I don't like doing pre-orders through Cella Toys. This is why I don't like doing pre-orders through Zombie Sailors or Grapplers and Gimmicks or anything like this. Because, the Asylum, I bought all those Remco style figures that I'm going to be so excited about making a video with you guys when those figures are received. But you pay for them in like a year in advance, and you're waiting patiently, and then stuff like this comes up, and it's so frustrating. I don't even know if I want to add these recent pickups to this video, because this video did go a little bit longer than I expected. Where are we at? Like 22 minutes right now? So I kind of felt like this was going to be a 10-minute video. Most of the time I just can't shut up, so they tend to stretch. You know what? This ain't going to take long. I'm not going to show the main new collection pickups. I'm only going to show the additional pickups. Like, so from Cella Toys, in series, when I did the Series 1 Cella Toys review, I was missing one particular figure, and that figure was very expensive, and it's why I wasn't able to pick it up. And I got a really good offer recently, so I finally was able to purchase it from, I think he was in the UK. And I'm so excited to get this. I don't know the character herself, but like I said, she's probably one of the most important figures of this entire line. And it is Bull Nakama. I mean, she's a really tiny figure. Not as small as Hornswoggle or Luna Vachon, but she's still a small character, small figure. So, Bull, what did I call her? Nakama? Nakano. Nakama. Maybe because I work for Akama, and I got Akama on the mind. Nakama. Bull Nakano. Well, she was 5'7". I mean, 201 pounds, so, a husky girl, not a big, I wouldn't classify that as a big girl. And, see, this is what confused me about these figures. I talked about it during the reviews, because they show these working action features on the side, you would think that the figures have actions, but when you get the loose figures from Epic Toys, Cello Toys, they don't actually have those features. And, you know, again, based on the body type, look at the arms. That is another Scott Steiner, Crush, and Mr. Perfect figure from Hasbro. Same type. The arms are smaller and they don't stretch out as far, but that is the same pose. So that's pretty cool. And this right here, this has got to be going into a protective case immediately. Very pricey figure, and the card is absolute perfect. Like, I don't even see the slightest of bends around the edges. Maybe right here. But very tiny, and there's like some kind of holes or something right here. Not holes, but like, it's like somebody took a pen without the pen tip and started like poking it or something. I don't know. But still, awesome pickup. One of my favorites now to go along with the Cello toy line. So this one is kind of a special thanks or a special shout out to Chad, my buddy over on Chaos Collectibles here on YouTube. You know, I've talked about his channel a lot. I've always highly recommended it. And guys, if you like what I see, definitely check out Chad's Chaos Collectibles videos, because what he does with Zola World figures and Remco's, his customs, are fantastic. So he recently did a pickup video where he was talking about the new Mattel wrestling ring and steel cage playset. And I think he also had like a Dingo Warrior that he picked up to go along with it, which is kind of necessary because they offer free shipping at a certain price. So you basically got to buy something else to add in there to get that price limit to hit the free shipping. So I had to do the same thing. And so I ended up picking up that wrestling ring playset while it was still on discount. And along with it, I also picked up the Elite $1 Million Man. As you guys know, I have maybe a couple dozen or so Elite figures, not a ton. These figures really don't do it for me, and I think over time I just picked up a few here and there just because I wanted to say that I had some of these. But they're just like the Jakks Classic, Jakks Pacific Classic Superstars. I absolutely love the Jakks Classic Superstars box sets. I think they're probably my favorite box sets. But with the figures inside, they look amazing. But you take the figures out and you were to sell them individually or display them individually, they would mean absolutely nothing to me. They're average to below average. It's the box set that really makes them stand out. And even though with the Elite boxes, later Elites like in the 90s where they have like a blue and black box, those are a little bit better. But these boxes are adequate. And, if you display them even sideways, like a book, they still have their graphics necessary. So in box, it looks great. I bought this particular figure for a couple reasons. One, he was affordable. I think this one was like half off or something. So, yeah, that was definitely a reason. Two, name recognition. I absolutely love $1 Million Man growing up. I've always been a huge fan of Ted DiBiase. So, yeah, that adds to it as well. I didn't have this one, so why not? But I think the most important thing is accessory. I think regardless of what, action or what figure line is out there, I think I'll always gravitate towards the figures with accessories. Because as we've seen, figures with accessories sell like hotcakes. The LJN 8-inch Hillbilly Jim. On card. Hillbilly Jim on loose is like one of the most common figures ever. And it's why so many people customize it, right? On card, that figure at one point was selling for like $500 to $800. Nowadays, you could probably win it on an auction for probably a couple hundred, but the point is, he comes with an accessory, and your figures with accessories are usually your higher priced items. So, based on value's sake, I felt like that this would be worth it as well. Yeah, I'm looking at the back of the box. Outside of Triple H, I actually would like to get the other two. Mr. Perfect and Greg Valentine. So yeah, this wasn't a bad pickup at all, but you see all like these heads, and I think this is actually later Million Dollar Man, like kind of a more recent head sculpt of him. So it's got the head sculpt, glasses, removable hands. I hate that. That kills me every time I see removable hands, removable heads. That are not accessories I want. Belts like that, hats, weapons. Terry Funk's cattle prod as an example. Things like that. That's what we're I keep calling it cattle prod. Branding iron. Terry Funk's branding iron. You guys know what I mean when I say cattle prod, but branding iron is the correct term. Ugh. But this was a nice one. And these figures, I don't know if I'm going to get a bunch of these. There was a while back I was seeing a lot of these figures, and they're called Ruthless Aggression. And I think I really enjoyed the box sets. So, like, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the figures, I feel like I do want to get some of these. Now, I know I've talked about only wanting to get a few figures from each toy line here or there. And suddenly they all exploded into, like, these massive acquisitions and completing lines or coming close to completing lines. With these figures, I don't think I'm going to come close to completing them. I think they're like, the Jakks Pacific Superstars, where there are going to be way too many box sets to purchase to complete any collection. This room is at capacity. I keep adding more stuff into this room, and at some point, everything's going to have to start going on the floor, and there's going to be nowhere to walk in here. I'm really going to end up hoarding up this room, so I'm thinking about moving some of my collections upstairs into the second living room, because we got like this built-in, display shelf and stuff over there, which is really beautiful. My wife has like all her like not Victoria's Secret candles. What was that other place? Not Yankee Doodle. Bath and Body Works, I think that's what it was. Apple and pumpkin ceramic, and then you got the candle inside. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna go to the figure. This one is Series 25, and this is Batista. I think I may have seen Batista in like a Royal Rumble or two here or there. Obviously, I know him better as an actor, based on the Guardians of the Galaxy movies than I do as an actual wrestler. But Batista, I think he was at least a one-time Royal Rumble champion, maybe multiple time, I don't know. And Batista. Who was it? No, that's Randy Orton I'm thinking of. But I'm sure Batista probably comes from like a strong wrestling family too. I'm trying to think who his father was. I could be wrong, but either way, this is a beautiful figure. On card, but take it out and it means nothing. When I look at the back of the Jakks Classic Superstars, you got images like this, and that's why I love the cards so much. They look so incredible. The way that everything is set up, that's beautiful. Now, maybe if I had like a bunch of figures, and like if I were to look at the back side of my wall, right? Now imagine all those carded figures were gone, and all I had was loose figures, and they were all like bunched up like this. Maybe I would love it a whole lot more. Maybe I would think it would look so much more special, but I don't pay the money that I pay on these cards to take them out of the package. I can buy them loose, but I don't want to do that. I don't like having loose figures, really. Sometimes it's necessary because I like to be able to hold the figure in my hand, and if I were looking at like the Bendies or the LJ in 8 inches or Hasbro, that's a different story. But figures like this, I'm not really into all that. Mostly because of all the joints swiveling in every which way, it destroys it for me. But Batista Series 25, and I like the fact that they continue putting series on the boxes, so that's pretty awesome. And what did I do with that other one? Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is Ruthless Aggression Series 34 and Chris Jericho. A lot of these characters that I'm showing you, Batista, Chris Jericho, etc., they really don't mean anything to me. I didn't really watch them as a kid, and by the time I stopped watching wrestling, that's probably when they made their entry into WWF/WWE. So I didn't watch these guys, and like I said, I've been out of wrestling for 25 years or so. So all these new guys, are nothing. Let's see, on the back of this card, I think on the back of this card, the Great Khali, I mean, he's another one of those Giants guys, and I absolutely love watching, but it always you always think that these Giants are always thrown out like they're nothing. Like, who was it? Was it China that eliminated the Great Khali? No, because China appeared was the first female wrestler to appear in a men's Royal Rumble. And it was Henry. No, it wasn't the Great Khali. It was that Henry guy. Why am I forgetting his name? But the big, strong guy. You guys know who I'm talking about. I'm sure a lot of you guys do. So, again, nothing super special. I like the card back. That's why I'm starting to collect these figures. This right here is not the new collection I'm talking about. This is kind of like a sub-collection that I've started, but not anything I plan on going full force, at least at this time. Another one is a Series 34 as well, and this is Mickie James. Now, kind of looking at this, Viscera, or they call him Big Daddy V, I just simply know him as Mabel. That is a figure I might be interested in, and I think these are all 2-packs. And Michelle McCool and Chuck Palumbo, who the heck is that? Robbie and Roby McAllister. Because they're like a dual set, probably brothers. I don't know. This one might be interesting. But on the back of this card, I think that the Great Khali, like I said, was really the only one I really have any interest in adding on to this particular series. And I hate that when you find these figures on like eBay or whatnot, it's always the latter figures that you can find. You never find like any Series 1, Series 6, Series 13 type figures. It's always like Series 20-something or 30-something, what have you. And based on this, you're looking at 7 characters on the back of this card, right? I currently have 2 of them here in Series 34. But imagine if it wasn't 7. Imagine it was like 4 or 5. Let's say 4. When you're in like hovering around 40 different series, and let's say there's at least 4 characters in every series, I mean, these aren't the most expensive things in the world, but even at $20 a piece, that's still a ton of money. And if I want to spend money on collections, I want it on something I actually care about or that really spark a lot of joy. I'll enjoy these, no doubt, but they just don't mean the world to me like majority of my other collections. The last one that I picked up from that particular same seller with the first Mickie James, I got another Series 36 Mickie James. So 34 Mickie James versus 36 Mickie James. And looking on the back of this, who do I care about? Okay, I know who Umaga is, so maybe him. Big Show, definitely. And D.H. Smith. Am I missing something? Is there a D.H. Smith in wrestling? At first glance, I thought this was Davey Boy, but it says D.H. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I think really Big Show and maybe Umaga are really probably the only guys in Series 36 that I really care about or could care about. The rest of these, meh. Like, if I find these figures on auction selling for like 99 cents and I'm like the only bidder, heck yeah, I'll buy these up immediately. Even if you were to sell like all these other figures to me and some for like $10 a piece, and obviously group them together, save on shipping costs, maybe, but very low interest there. To close out this video, guys, I'm going to show you one last pickup. This one came in today, and he's actually a pretty important one because he fits two modes. One, he fits the WCW, Galoob era, and he fits more of like your LJN bendies. And who are we talking about? From Just Toys, the Bendham's Lex Luger. So again, when you kind of look at the back of the card and everything, it's like so reminiscent of the card backing of the WCW Galoobs from 1990. And technically the 91 Series 2 UK are the same carding as well. The one thing I don't like about this, and I'm kind of looking at the back here, one, black and white kind of sucks, but two, I know that Just Toys did not make all of these different wrestlers, so I don't know what that's all about. Ron Simmons and Butch Reed, I highly doubt it. Sid Vicious they have Ric Flair, they have Barry Windham, and I've seen Rick Steiner. You know what, they might. I think I've seen a Brian Pillman, if I'm not mistaken, and I do have a couple White Pants Sting, so I know that they have that one. I could be wrong. They could have made all of these. But if these even exist anymore, I'm not talking about carded, I'm talking loose even. I highly doubt you'll ever find a Ron Simmons or Butch Reed. But hey, if anybody that watches this knows of any of these figures and you're willing to sell them to me, heck yeah. So for the Just Toys Bendhams, for the WCW characters, right now this is the only one I have. Did I purchase any others? I don't think so. I think I'm watching a few, but like I think they got like a Ric Flair for like $50, or who was the other one? Rick Steiner for like $50. I'm like, I'm sorry, I am not paying $50 for these. I think I got this for 15, maybe 15, 20, 25. I don't remember. I'm gonna say $15. I don't think it was that expensive. And I get it. Lex Luger isn't exactly the most popular from this line, but if it comes down to this figure or down to the Lex Luger that you got from Galoob, I think I would take this one. This is also a very important figure for another reason. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a very long time, and you were with me back in the day when I didn't have all these recessed lights built in, and the room was relatively dark and was completely different than what you see nowadays. I think if you look back at those room tour videos and you look at what I had then that I don't have now, you could pretty much guess what it is that this new collection is going to consist of. So I've got, I don't know, currently I'd probably say 25 or 20 packages new mint on card, and probably another 15 or so maybe of loose figures. Some of them are duplicate to the carded figures. I think I still got about 10 more, somewhere between 5 and 10 figures left that should be arriving tomorrow. And if they don't arrive on Saturday, then on Monday when they come in, I'll make that follow-up video. I really want to go heavy into a lot of the real chat videos as soon as possible. I don't know if I want to do them daily, only for the simple fact that I always want to give you guys the most time possible to watch my stuff. One bad thing about making so many videos here in 2023, I feel like there have been an absolute tonnage of fantastic videos that I would have loved to have made when I had like 5,000 subscribers or something, because those are just, to me, really fun videos. I really enjoyed making them, and a lot of view counts seem pretty high, or at least for me they do. My average videos only go about 200 to 300 views, and maybe as the months progress, maybe a few new random people will find my videos, but that's why I always focus on the newest video. every now and then I'll go back to notifications and see if someone left a message on a previous video. But when I post the newest video, that's what I look at. That's what I keep track of. So, guys, sorry for the extra long video. I kind of thought that the Ringmaster figures were going to be like 10 minutes, and I could have shown this other stuff off in like 10 minutes, but instead of being a 20-minute video, I think we're hovering closer to 40 or so. Where are we at right now? Wow. I did not expect this video to go that long. Alright guys, I'm going to shut up because people are going to see that 45-minute time and they're not going to watch this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Always appreciate it. I will talk to you in the comments and see you in the next video.